All right, time has come to put this doubler in. We got to build a crossmember. So let's get this low range unit up under the Jeep, start making some measurements. Alright, I pulled all these studs out so I can Loctite them. I'm going to have to put the 205 in as well before I start the whole crossmember build, just to make sure that nothing is, I don't want to have to cut things out that I build, you know. Make sure there's no interferences. Also going to get the headers in, just to make sure that I'm keeping my exhaust in mind as I'm building the crossmember, to have the best success of something that's going to work out long term. Also going to install some of my twin stick linkage stuff, so that's all good to go. Nice. Okay. There's also a plate that goes here. Right on. Got all the brackets on there. This is going to need to be adjusted, but at least I don't have to fight it too much under there. All this hardware is stainless, so that's pretty sweet. I don't have to paint it. It's going to continue looking good. So now I got to muscle this bad boy under there. Nice. All right, I've been wrenching away, got the headers installed, and from up top, they look beautiful. Underneath, we've got an issue. Got the front driveline in. It's too short. There's not enough engagement there, but the driveline angle is much better than before. It was pretty steep before, so I think that's good. Here's our issue with the headers, but I think I can heat them up and pull this out. So I might do it on the bench, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I guess I do know that the exhaust is gonna have to come through here. However I mount this, I need space for the exhaust to go through. Driver's side, no issues. So I think next I'm gonna build a little angle iron box frame for this. Get it laid out, drilled, mounted, and then I can figure out how I'm gonna tie into that with crossmember. All right, a little different direction. We're gonna use this red pipe that I have a lot of. So basically, somewhere in here we need tabs for the low range box, and then we'll come off here to the frame. But let's get this under there and figure out our tabs. We got that cut in there. I think it's going to work out to just put tabs like basically right in the center line of that, because it goes all the way up, a little bit higher than center line. Alright, this is where we're at. Got tabs on the front welded in, or tacked in. Got them laid out, bolted. So I gotta lay out these tabs for the doubler plate. Then should be able to run some. I gotta box the frame in. Got a lot of work to do, but we're gonna lay this out so we can get this fully bolted, and then everything else is just the figuring's done. It's just measure, cut, weld, measure, cut, weld. All right, I got these in there through a little gusset. This crossmember here basically acts as a gusset for that, so I'm not worried about that bending. But since this tab was just kind of free flying out there, decided to put a little gusset. So should be able to bolt this on, lay out our frame mounts. Alright, got these tabs off Amazon, got these bushings from Barnes 4-wheel drive, and I just used a straight edge off the front to figure out where I wanted to place this. So now I'm going to double check, make sure the jack hasn't sagged, and if it hasn't, then I can get a measurement here, cut that pipe, and then we got to start boxing in the frame back here. But I got to try to, I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to bend that down. I got a big crescent. I yank on it a bit. But yeah, it's gonna be good. Alright, got to box the frame. So I got this metal here that I've been packing around for a while. Yeah, I think it's going to be perfect. I'm going to build some channel to fit inside the frame. We'll box that section. So this will make one side, and then this I'll have to take a swath out the middle, and that'll do the other side. I'll probably leave this long because that one side, the frame's pretty messed up, so if I can go back a little bit further and stiffen that up, I think it'd be good. All right, let's start hacking. All right, got the first channel kind of rigged up here, 6 inches on the outside. So I'm just gonna weld her up solid, and we'll see how she fits under the Jeep. Maybe I'll get a few tacks, then weld it solid. That's probably a better idea. Alright, got that in there. Some of the welds look like crap. I need to get a real welder. The Weld Pro's been a decent machine for 400 bucks, but I need to get like a real welder, and I'm working on it. So anyway, this is at an angle, so I got to cut 1/4 inch off the front tab here. So I'm going to do that, and then should be able to put those tabs on, measure our next little piece. Hey buddy. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to get that frame insert all welded up, and I can let the welder rest. You are loud. And then start doing the same thing I did over here, basically. Dude. God. I know you probably drink out of the toilet. Alright, the crossmember's all fabbed up. I got it here on the bench ready to weld, but I'm out of wire. So I threw the seat back in it so I can kind of lay out my shifters. Stole the B&M from the Impala, and I got the JB Fab triple stick. So I wanted to make sure that my trans shifter is in a comfortable position, and these are still easy to get to. So I know typically you have your TK shifters in front, but it'd be a long reach. I want to be able to grab everything with my harness on. So I think that's a good position. We're going to cut a hole in the floor so we can get those cables routed. Alright, making progress here. Got the shifter kind of in position, got the hole cut. all the cables are hooked up, but I'm just trying to get the sticks all adjusted right, and it's kind of a struggle, if I'm being honest. Got the skid plate cross member, or the T-case cross member, all welded up, and there's some cool parts, there's some ugly parts. Oh, looks like I missed a weld there. Better get that. I want to at least get this middle section plated, and I'll have to cut holes for bolt access. I'm not going to worry so much about the sides. I don't know, I might get this one because there's a chunk of T-case that hangs right here. I don't know, I'm less worried about that. Yeah, that's about the same as dragging your diff, so thing's pretty tough. If I can at least get this middle section plated, then I will tackle that later if I have time. It's kind of like risk versus benefit at this point, trying to figure out what is what's worth the while to get ready for the Rubicon and what's not. I think getting plate across its middle is going to help with hang-ups. I'm not worried about hitting that case on rocks, but having this smooth will help at least slide across the rocks. Well, ran out of wire again. It's time for me to get a bigger welder. This thing has been great, but it's too small for a project like this. Skid plate's looking good, so actually putting down some decent welds now. Anyway, got my hole sawed out for the bolt access. Tomorrow I'll get some more wire, finish welding this up, paint it. This is the last like really big thing. Everything else is just little things. There's just a lot of them. Anyway, see you tomorrow when I get this thing welded up and painted. Alright, wrench away this morning, got the linkage all kind of adjusted, as good as I can get it for now. Got all those jam nuts tightened up, put in the last few double adapter nuts, because I misplaced them. What else I do? Hooked up the speedo cable, so might have a speedo. It's probably going to be off. Got this painted last night, looks pretty good. We're going to jam the bushings in there and get it muscled up into position. All right, T-case is in. Looks pretty good. So I may redesign this at some point because it was an absolute nightmare to get everything lined up. I think with so many bolt connections, it might be worthwhile to have it in more than one piece. Especially with this little side mount here. You want to support the 205, and there's some bolt holes up on this side. I built a little plate mount there. So anyway, pretty cool. Got the shift linkage all hooked up, and I got a plan for the exhaust, so check this out. Ended up just getting some block huggers. So we're gonna do block huggers and do a single exhaust out the driver's side just for packaging. I think it'll be better. And I'm not going to lose any power. It's a small block. Anyway, we got a ton left to do. The next video is just going to be about finishing up as much as we can. So yeah, I'm excited. It's coming together. Lots of little things. It's punch list time. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you join our mailing list. I put a newsletter together once a month. Kind of gives you some sneak peeks and some updates. Sometimes you can even get a video early, which is kind of cool. We got merch, link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Wheel it, wreck it, wrench it, repeat. We'll see you next time.